Hello, it's Amy with Paper Moon Journals. This is actually the first journal that I made when I started to feel better at the beginning of June. And then good news. Thanks everybody for all of the comments and prayers on my channel. This is first of all 9x6 with a 3-inch spine using a kit called Dreamland by Miles Beyond the Moon. I was so smitten with the kit and how the journal came out. I had initially planned on keeping this for myself, although I'm sure I could be talked out of it. And so I started another second one that's way bigger than the one I made for myself and overflowing with ephemera, and may just come with a little sack of extra ephemera because it's already a gator mouth and I haven't started the glittering or lace adding process. I'll be starting a new, slightly less aggressive treatment middle of next week, and I'm hoping and praying that I still feel well enough to continue working on these projects. I have a circus journal by Miles Beyond the Moon from their most recent circus-inspired kit that's nearly done, that's in reds and blacks. That's really cool. I have a pastel circus journal from Forever Cute that I've just barely started, that's in progress. And then a ballerina journal from Forever Cute. That's a kit I used once before. It sold so fast. And again, it was one that I liked so well, I was tempted to keep it for myself when I made it the first time. It's always a good sign it might be another project or a digital kit worth reusing. They come out different every time, even if I use the same papers, and even if I imitate the same cover, because I just loved how the cover came out so well on this project. I'm imitating the cover for the other project. And aside from using the same papers, pretty much nothing else is going to be the same. I didn't realize this kit came with fussy cut images. So in this project here, there are none of the fussy cuts. And in the new project, there are. I think I backed the pages with the scenery pages for this kit here. And I backed the pages with totally different things in the other journal that I'm making. So it'll be really interesting if you get to watch both videos to see this first journal that I made, just first time. It's kind of the inspiration. It's like, okay, I've got this kit. What am I going to pair it with? What am I going to print out to go with it? What do I have in my giant bucket of ephemera? And again, if anybody would be interested in buying stacks of pre-made, pre-backed ephemera, a nice variety of that from digital kits. Maybe you don't have a color printer. And, then you'd have a nice starting stack. That's really the fun part, is filling up your project with all of the ephemera. Although I do find it very relaxing to sit there and cut out the ephemera pieces, glue them onto backing, different types of backing pages that I think are still pale enough, suitable to write on. If the front's good to write on, then I might pick something busier for the back. But yeah, I really loaded up the one similar to this that I'm making now. I'll put on some nice plinky plunky music. And let's see, it's Saturday, June 20th, 2026 when I'm filming this now. I'll probably be able to get this posted and listed today. Like I said, before the next treatment, I'm trying to get as many projects completed and listed as possible, just in case I go down again. Last time I went down for 2 months. Again, praise God. I've changed doctors. I've got a PCP who is a collaborative type of doctor, which is amazing. And then he's still only been able to refer me to specialists who don't have time to see me. Nevertheless, I am on the waiting list for those specialists now, and before I wasn't. So that's pretty cool. And then again, my other specialist that I did have got swapped out for somebody who had a less aggressive. When I got a second opinion, it was much less aggressive, and I changed specialists at that point. So I'm really hopeful that at worst, I might not be feeling good, but I'll be still feeling good enough to craft. I won't be bedridden. So anybody else who's going through something like this, I want to tell you right now, right here, right now, my prayers are with you, and God bless you and yours. If you're watching this for inspiration, sorry, I'm not keeping it positive like I always used to. Sometimes we just got to keep it real. Everybody's going through something. Maybe hearing that my life isn't perfect or hasn't been perfect might make you feel better. Everybody who's purchased from the shop has been a huge blessing for my family, whether it's just a digital file, they're pretty affordable, they're just a few dollars, or whether they bought an actual journal. When people buy the journals, it accidentally got glued into the pocket. When people buy my journals, I often cry tears of joy. I am so grateful, both that somebody really admired my work enough to pay for it and the blessing that it is on the family. I was really starting to run out of supplies. If you need a coupon and there's something that you're really in love with, especially if you're going through a hard time, and something like this would really help make things easier for you. So in the project that I'm making for others will be, everything is glittered. You can't always see it in the images, but the bird's glittery, the little cards are glittery. Any of the pages that have feature characters have lots of glitter added. I plan on using Dresden trim again. I will have to keep the lace very subtle like I did on this one because it's already over full, as I said. And I don't want to pull any of the ephemera out. You could probably pull half of the ephemera out and use it in another project. Most of the things that I make, you could probably pull half of the ephemera out and then just use it in other projects. As I've mentioned before, you can also use these journals to make page spreads. So you can use some of the extra ephemera on some of the blank pages to do page spreads. You could do some drawing. You could paste in photos, use it like a diary or a scrapbook of your days and times. It makes a beautiful coffee table book if you like collecting quotes and positive sentiments, as I do. Those are great. I know my sister-in-law, she actually uses hers as a gratitude journal. So she sits down daily and makes an entry at least once, daily for all the things and people that she's grateful for. I sent her a journal I pulled out of inventory on my shop. The pink celestial journal's gone. That's been gifted. And there was another journal I pulled from the shop and gifted out. So yeah, if there's something that you like, that you're interested in, if it looks like it's been there forever and it's going to stay there forever, it might not. I don't like leaving older things in inventory. First of all, my style does change slightly over time. And the only time I ever had somebody be disappointed was they had bought something that was like 3 years old for my shop. It was actually something back from when I very first started making journals. So it was pretty rough. And so, of course, I gave them a full refund. I told them to just throw it away. They sent it back. I'm glad they did. There were some really cute, usable things in there, some companion pieces, a miniature matchbook that was made to coordinate and match, some magnets. I removed all the lace trim and things that that were preserved, that could be preserved from it, and then just threw the rest out. When things linger too long in inventory, I don't like to leave them there. I pull them out. So ideally, I like to gift them to somebody. And that's where, if you know somebody in need or somebody who's going through a hard time, if they can at least reimburse the shipping, or if things are better, if my sales are good enough. I sold a few journals the other day, so I was able to pay the shipping to just gift journals. One to a former customer of mine. I wanted to send her something really big and grand that was very expensive in my shop, as opposed to selling it for a pittance. I spend quite a bit of money on making these projects. It might be hard to believe, but like a case of the cardstock, and I use, when I back it, I'm using 2 sheets of cardstock to do the ephemera. It's $100 a case. Like to refill my toner, about $100. I use regular copy paper that I tea stain and dye. That takes time and energy. I spend hours. Hours and hours every day because of my illness. My business has gotten very slow. So as long as my energy is up to it, my health and energy is up to it, I am spending all day, every day, inking, corner cutting, adding glitter, waiting for glitter to dry. Thank goodness it's summer, so it dries faster, but still, My more is better with the glitter is really taken forever with the glitter. I'm going through at least $10 worth of the Stickles glitter per project. I'm buying it from Amazon, and I go through now about 2 bottles per project to make sure things are just, I want it to be extra magical. Even though it takes time, I feel impatient, like I just want to hurry up and finish. But then there's so many special pages that just need that magical glittery touch. And then, as always, I like to have the faux vintage ephemera and some neutral pieces in there. Personalize my project. It's a great way to personalize your project so it doesn't look like everybody else's. And I'm sure if you tried to make the exact same thing twice, you would see, you just really, it's almost impossible unless you sit and make them both at the same time. So yeah, the new one that I'm making is quite a bit different from this. It was inspired by the same kit. It's way bigger and has more in it. Well, let's just start there. It's bigger, it has more in it. But I did a lot of the same things that I did in this one that I liked, that worked so well. I'll be for sure using the Dresden trim again. And as I've mentioned before in my videos, this is kind of the final flip through before it would be available for sale. I'm going to use finger quotes because, again, I might end up selling it. I may not. It brings me a lot of joy just seeing the cover, and seeing the journal, sitting and going through it and looking at all the little pieces. I may sit and print out some of my favorite quotes and sentiments and fill it with those. And then I can use it like a book of quotes and sentiments and sit and flip through it, reading through my favorite quotes and sentiments, positive affirmations. I will not be writing in it. I'm afraid that once I make them really pretty like this, I don't want to write in them either. Not on the backs of things, not on anything. I have to make a journal special to use. And then I do, it will be pretty. It will have some pockets and some ephemera, but they're flat. They're very little decoration on them. And then I tend to just use them both for gratitude, and then as like daily to-do lists, plans, and tasks. So it would be a waste to use something this beautiful to have a little to-do list on that cloud page, for example. That would be a shame. If I had a beautiful sentiment or something to put on there, I'd do that. Depending on the theme of the journal, like this would make a great dream journal. Maybe put pictures of families or pictures of things that are dreams. This could be an aspirational kind of a dream journal if you wanted. You could also do mixed media on some of the pages that have more room. If you were into lettering, they call it now, practicing your penmanship and learning new penmanship, this would be a great place to practice copying a poem or something like that with your new skills. Could be a great bullet journal, where on the blank pages you use that to track your days. And wouldn't that be beautiful? I had one like this. Of course, it was quite a bit smaller. It was a soft cover journal that I used to take to meetings with me, to take notes and stuff on meetings when I went to go meet with clients. And that was pretty cool because it was a talking point that, made everybody comfortable. It introduced that I, not only good at my job, but that I was a crafty person. And then, the cutest little notebook for note-taking ever, right? Also, great gifts. Can you imagine how exciting a gift like this would be to get? Where there's so many pieces and parts to it and so much to look at it. And you can look at them over and over again and kind of re-experience it new. Here's the final thought about these. If you haven't purchased one before, they are so much nicer in person. I know this because I purchased them from other people and I watched the videos. I see the actual journal in my hands. I've held it. I've touched it. I see how glittery, sparkly, and magical it is. And then when I watch the video, you just don't see it. Like that whale is totally glittered all the way around. Those roses glittered. The castle are all glittery. The people, the cards, super glittery. I didn't add any bows to the tags or anything on this one, or it would have gotten way too fat. If you are interested in the new one I'm working on, it may not have bows on the tags either. I'm not sure. It's just already so full. And adding bows to top the tags is something that really fattens those journals up. So it's the inside of the back cover. We're almost done. Looks like I talked my way through. So I guess I will just continue to do so, and we will just talk our way through the end of the journal. Thank you so much for watching and checking it out. If you're a fellow journal maker, it really warms my heart that you like my projects and my crafts well enough that you're looking at my channel for inspiration. I know I love watching other people's channels and Instagram for inspiration. When I'm not feeling good, a lot of times I just give little hearts. When I'm feeling better, I like to leave long, detailed comments about exactly what I like about the projects. Boy, it's probably been since February since I've had that level of energy for socializing on social media. Unfortunately, I tend to I get in there, I try to look at my friends at least once a day, but it's a little bit dependent on what Instagram is offering. So, if you've been posting some really cool stuff and I haven't been commenting on your post, it's because Instagram's not sharing it with me. Again, even when I'm not feeling great. But I hope you're feeling great. I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope you felt inspired. I hope you found something cool in this in one way or another. God bless you and all of yours and everybody who's offered me prayers and words of kindness. I want to thank you all again personally. Thank you so much, and please have a beautiful day. God bless.